Pickle Wheat easily gained the interest of loyal viewers of the long-running reality TV show Swamp People when she was introduced in its 12th season, aired in 2021. Being short and young-looking, many could hardly believe how adept she was in hunting apex predators, such as alligators. She had a good rapport with her captain, King of the Swamp, Troy Landry, and they made quite a team. Being new in the History Channel series, people have been clamoring for more of her hunting exploits and for information on what's keeping her busy these days. Cheyenne Nicole Wheat was born on the 21st of September 1995, and with her name sounding like shiny nickel, it evolved over the years into Pickle, which stuck. She and her brother James grew up in Poydras, Louisiana. Her love for the outdoors was brought on by having a family into fishing, hunting, and frogging. She was only 3 when her father, Eddie, started taking her along with him to his favorite haunts and introduced her to the joy of camping and other outdoor adventures. She's in awe of her mom, Missy, with her selfless ways of doing everything she could for their family. Missy's language of love was food, and she was always cooking for them, including making sure that she packed enough food for their hunting trips. As a tribute to her, Pickle had the word free tattooed on the side of her pinky, as her mom always called her my little tumbleweed or my little free spirit. Pickle comes from a long line of pirogue builders, decoy carvers, duck call makers, as well as trappers. In the early 1970s, her grandfather used pieces of slate he found at deserted fort in Shell Beach in St. Bernard Parish, Louisiana, to make turkey calls. The family has made their own hunting products since then, and the idea of selling them only came when somebody bought a duck call from their woodshop. They participated in a local show held at the Los Isleños Museum, and the response they received inspired them to establish their company, Wheat's Game Calls. It specializes in custom-made devices that mimic animal noises or sounds to attract animals to the hunters, such as deer grunt, duck, crow, and pintail calls. Her great-grandfather was a legend in St. Bernard Parish as one of their original alligator hunters. He had an ingenious way of luring alligators in that he would use a pole similar to PVC pipe, putting one end in the water with the other end positioned under the chin, and would then make a sound that would attract gators to him. Once the gators were within reach on the surface of the water, he would hit them on the head. Her grandfather, whom she fondly called Pop, had exceptional talent as a craftsman and machinist, and Pickle was proud to say that his work on such as knives and longbows was museum-worthy, saying, "He's the heart and the soul of what we do. He's the reason we follow the grain." History Channel's Swamp People premiered on the 22nd of August, 2010, with over 3 million people tuning in. The reality TV show was about the gator hunting season in the largest swamp and wetland in the U.S., the Atchafalaya Basin in south-central Louisiana. It featured well-known alligator hunters, including Troy Landry, Bruce Mitchell, and Willie Edwards, with Pickle Wheat joining the King of the Swamp on his boat during the 12th season, which started airing on the 4th of February, 2021. According to the Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries, gator hunting would officially commence in the East Zone every last Wednesday in August, and in the West Zone every first Wednesday in September, with licensed hunters given 60 days to fill the tags they're issued with. The most common form of harvesting gators involved the use of baited hooks and lines, in which an aged chicken leg quarter would be hanging several inches above the water, with a line tied to a tree branch or a pole. When a gator takes the bait, it isn't able to dislodge the hook inside its mouth. The line is used to reel it in and position the gator in such a way that the one holding the rifle would have a clear shot at the most vulnerable spot behind its skull. One had to be a marksman to not hit the skull plate, as it is very dense and bullet fragments may ricochet. Although the alligator is a large target, it can move very quickly, with a maximum speed of 56 kilometers per hour or 35 miles per hour on land, although it's known to tire quickly, and 32 kilometers per hour or 20 miles per hour in the water. This humane way of killing was not easy, as the gator would put up a fight, thrashing around, and one had to be careful not to get caught between its powerful jaws, nor take too long, as the line could snap during the struggle, and not to let the live gator get into the boat either. Alligator parts can be sold for profit, with the skin as the most valuable. Tanneries bought gator skins as it makes a fine and durable leather that was sought after in making luxury items, including bags, shoes, and belts. The bigger the gator skin, the more expensive it is, as there would be a wider material to work with. Also, people hunted alligators to cull their population, When its numbers became overwhelming, it would pose a danger to society, as it would venture into neighborhoods in search of food, and attacks on pets and people would soon follow. As Pickle followed in her great-grandfather's footsteps, she teamed up with Troy Landry in hunting alligators in Swamp People. She grew up around alligators, not having qualms at holding baby gators by their mouth and body or tail, but has since developed a healthy respect for them. Pickle knew how to hunt them, but running lines was new to her. Season 12 opened with the hunters worried about the overpopulation of alligators in the area. Troy had partnered with his sons, Jacob and Chase, and other hunters in the past seasons, but his partnership with Pickle seemed the most enjoyable for both of them. She said that it was a rewarding experience despite the danger involved. They got along well and bantered a lot. He gave her nicknames such as Pee-wee and Baby Girl, and had fun treating her like one of his children. Well, she is the niece of someone with whom Troy enjoyed over 35 years of friendship. He organized 3 teams to fill his 500 tags that year, and Pickle served as his deckhand. She doesn't look like much of an alligator hunter. She looked like she should be in the 3rd or 4th grade at school, he said, but never regretted having her on his team, as she had proven her worth. Despite being short and young-looking, she was actually in her mid-20s at the time, and quite strong. She gets the job done. She could shoot, handle the line with a feisty gator on the other end, and did her share of pulling a dead gator into the boat. In Pierre Part, Louisiana, their first catch was an 11-foot alligator. Troy admired her guts in having a deadly tug-of-war with a wildly thrashing gator that was heavier and bigger than her, as it resisted her efforts in reeling it in for Troy to deliver the killing shot. In one wrong move, she could fall out of the boat. She had the chance to use her 7mm .08 Remington rifle on a gator they spotted in the open water. If she missed, the gator would go underwater and wouldn't surface for some time. Fortunately, Pickle was a great shot, and Troy used a treble hook to haul in the dead gator. Troy was often called to hunt for nuisance alligators, so when a gator killed an 800-pound horse, he brought Pickle along to catch the gator responsible, as they knew it would return, now having a taste for horse meat. They were successful in ridding the ranch of this problem with Pickle's idea of adding shavings of the horse's hooves to the chicken bait. In Season 13, Hurricane Ida packing winds of about 240 kilometers per hour or 150 miles per hour was headed to the swamps, and Pickle along with the rest of the hunters was in a rush to harvest as many gators as they could, at least 30 to 40 of them before the storm broke. It might seem a lot, but it was just a small fraction of what his team had to catch, as Troy's team had 600 tags to fill that year, and they were worried that the hunting season would be cut short by the storm. Their first catch was an 11-foot, 400-pound gator, which was a great start, and they continued to fill their boat. Even as the hurricane warning went into effect and the storm was expected to make a landfall in 24 hours, they still ran their lines. It was about a week after the storm when they helped out Ronnie and Ashley, who were behind schedule. Hunters were given tags based on the number caught the previous year, and if they failed to fill all of them, there was a good chance that one would be given less the following year. Pickle and Troy caught several gators, but still had more of Ronnie's tags to fill. However, she was starting to worry about the bad weather and told her partner, "Gotta be honest with you, ain't no alligators worth this." Troy admitted that he also didn't like being out when there was a lightning storm, particularly when using a 20 feet long aluminum pole, but said that they were too far out to go back and would just have to run the lines until they were out of the area. With their help, Ronnie and Ashley were back on track. That evening, Ronnie treated them to crabs and shrimps. She'd complain about Troy making her wait while he drank his coffee, despite asking her to come early in the morning. He said that he was always worn out, as he was the one doing everything on the boat. "If you want to be captain, I'm going to make you drive the boat," he suddenly told her, and she was beyond excited for a chance to prove herself. It wasn't the first time they switched roles as captain and deckhand, as they'd also done that in Season 12. Nothing's changed, as Troy said that she was the worst boat driver he had ever seen in his life. She was doing the opposite of what he was telling her to do, particularly in getting the boat in a better position when approaching the lines. He could see that she didn't like driving the boat, and it was only pride that kept her from saying so. Pickle realized how much work Troy was doing as a captain, and before they finished running the lines, she admitted to being terrible at it, and went back to being a deckhand. It was a good thing that they still caught several gators that day. Every hunting season, Pickle would head to Pierre Part to film for Swamp People, but returned home as soon as it was over. She liked to travel by herself and experience new things, but she also never missed an opportunity to hunt game with family and friends. As she became famous, she made it a point to post vlogs giving updates on how she was doing, as well as host live sessions for some Q&A with fans, as she was eager to meet new people. She was grateful for all the love and support she's been receiving, and said that being on the TV series was life-changing. Her popularity was good for business as well, making her very busy selling Pickle Wheat merchandise, such as her signature shirts and hats that she wore on the show. She's actually having a bit of a hard time keeping up with the demand, not just locally, but also internationally. In her February 2022 Instagram post, she shared that she had moved into a new place recently and was busy setting up her new home, as well as the chicken coop in her yard. Pickle was comfortable walking barefoot, even outside her home, as she communed with nature or foraged mushrooms in the woods. However, as she was chasing a chicken around, she unfortunately stepped on a long nail. She didn't yet have the courage to show how bad her foot was, just saying that it was twice its normal size and that she was limping. Her social media post left no room for doubt on how she felt about Troy Landry. Pickle was grateful to have learned so much from him, and the two developed a close relationship that went beyond Captain Deckhand. She said, "To say we are close friends is an understate. When you meet certain people in the world, you just know they're your forever people. He's one of those for me." Rumor has it that Pickle is dating or has dated Troy's son, Chase, who appeared as a gator hunter with his father in Swamp People since season 3. In an episode airing in 2021, Pickle and Chase worked together, taking turns as a shooter, as they went to the alligator-infested part of Cow Island Lake. Chase shared his experience in hunting with Pickle, saying, "She's feisty and she's a firecracker, but she's fun. She's definitely a good sport about it. I enjoyed it." They had great chemistry and did well in filling their tags, with Troy content just driving the airboat and leaving everything to them. Back in 2020, her relationship status on Facebook read, "In a relationship with Chase Landry," and there were photos with him on one of her hunting expeditions. However, no more photos of them together were posted after that, and some wondered if they'd parted ways. Fans who had followed the Landrys since the start believed that the two were still together, but wanted to keep things private, particularly Chase, as he's not too keen on publicly sharing his personal life. In fact, it was only through his father's social media posts that fans learned about the birth of his first child, Riley Blake, in March 2017. The mother was allegedly Chelsea Kinsey, who was his girlfriend of many years, but according to some reports, the two went their separate ways after their daughter was born. Based on her social media posts, Pickle was having the time of her life as she was living her dream, doing what she enjoyed the most: traveling, hunting, and being with family. As the season finale aired, her fans need not worry that this was going to be her last, as she assured everyone during one of her Instagram live sessions that they have another season coming. Thank you for spending some time with us. Make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss another video. We also handpick these videos, which we recommend you watch next. You can talk to us on all social medias or ask a question in the comments below. Thank you for being with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.